In today's video, we're going to dive into the upcoming weather pattern. We'll take a look at some cooler temperatures at times, some warmer temperatures at other times, and snowfall chances throughout the upcoming forecast, especially over the next 2 weeks. We'll also examine the potential for severe weather. We've seen some severe weather over the last few days, and I expect more of these events to occur over the next couple of weeks. So it's going to be an action-packed period. As we've discussed before, the weather will be much more variable. We were stuck in a persistently cold pattern across the central and eastern states for weeks, but now we're seeing more fluctuations. This change allows storms to move through much more frequently. Let's start by looking at the new 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from the National Weather Service covering February 6th through 10th. As you can see, warmer temperatures are likely to prevail across the Four Corners region, the south central states, and the southeastern corridor. We typically refer to this pattern as a southeast ridge. These are common during La Nina events, and we've been transitioning toward La Nina conditions in recent weeks. This pattern has firmly established itself, and the big question now is whether it will persist into the spring or eventually break down. It could go either way, and we'll discuss that more today. Meanwhile, cooler temperatures are expected along the west coast, extending into the northern plains. In terms of precipitation, we anticipate an active pattern overall. The west, especially the north and central west, along with the northern and central plains, will see a lot of precipitation. The southwest will likely remain drier, while much of the east will experience above average precipitation. Florida, however, is expected to see drier conditions. Looking ahead to the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook covering February 8th through 14th, we continue to see below normal temperatures along the west coast, now expanding further into the plains, Midwest, and even the Great Lakes. This trend is encroaching on the eastern U.S., but the southeast is still expected to remain above average, with warmer temperatures likely to persist through mid-February. Regarding precipitation, we see above normal levels out west and across most of the east. The only areas likely to experience below average precipitation are the very southern portions of the Four Corners states and parts of Florida. Over the past 30 days, temperatures have been significantly below normal across the Rockies, the Plains, and parts of the Southeast. While the Rockies haven't been as cold as the Plains, the entire region has experienced well below normal temperatures. The Southeast corridor in particular has seen record-breaking cold, with some locations shattering 10, 20, and even 30-year records. Now let's take a glance at the European weather model, which we frequently analyze. As we look at this afternoon's data, a storm system was moving into the northwest, bringing snowfall to the Cascades, the Sierra Nevada, and the northern Rockies. Rainfall has been prevalent along the northwest coast. A low-pressure system over the Ohio Valley has been dragging a cold front, while a warm front has been pushing northward. This setup has made the southeast and mid-Atlantic warm and humid today. For example, here in Virginia, temperatures reach 73 degrees Fahrenheit with humidity levels between 60% and 70%, extremely high for this time of year. This warm, humid pattern has contributed to thunderstorm activity today, which is expected to continue into the night. Meanwhile, wintry conditions are developing in the Northeast. As we move into the overnight hours, much of the storm's energy will shift off the Northeast coast, bringing snowfall to New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Maine. Thunderstorms and showers will persist further south. Snowfall will continue overnight across the Rockies, Cascades, and Sierra Nevada as a powerful low-pressure system remains in place. Moving on to Saturday, February 1st, as we start a new month, we expect relatively dry conditions along the east. However, temperatures will be significantly colder than they were today and the day before, with some areas seeing a 20-degree drop. Many locations have been running 15 to 20 degrees above average, so this cool down will bring temperatures closer to their seasonal norms. Overall, it should be a fairly typical day for early February. Meanwhile, stormy conditions will persist in the Northwest, bringing major snowfall. Even the upper Midwest will experience some snow. Looking ahead to Sunday, February 2nd, the stormy pattern continues for the Northwest, with snowfall prevailing in the Cascades and Rockies. Given the ongoing snowfall, I can't even imagine how much will have accumulated by the time this system moves out. We're currently experiencing a zonal flow, meaning the jet stream is moving almost directly west to east across the U.S. without major ridges or dips. This setup brings near average temperatures to most regions and allows storms to travel horizontally across the country. By Monday, February 3rd, warmth will begin to push back in from the south, particularly in the east. Many areas that saw 70s today will likely see similar temperatures on Monday. If you experienced 60s, expect similar readings again. Monday's temperatures will resemble today's, but precipitation patterns will change. Snowfall will stretch from the northwest into the northern plains, the upper Midwest, and possibly the Great Lakes, covering a wide area. On Tuesday, February 4th, isolated thunderstorms are expected to develop across Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Alabama. The warmth and humidity will persist, making these storms unsurprising. Meanwhile, a low-pressure system will linger over the northern Rockies, keeping snowfall and rain ongoing in the west. By Wednesday, February 5th, a stronger low will develop over Colorado with a warm front forming to the east. We'll need to watch whether this system develops a dragging cold front, which could lead to thunderstorms and possibly severe weather. For now, isolated showers and thunderstorms will pop up on Wednesday, and snowfall will continue in the west with several consecutive days of accumulation expected. On Thursday, February 6th, the low-pressure system over Colorado will move rapidly across the Great Lakes and into Canada, intensifying to 984 millibars. A strong cold front will push through the Ohio Valley and Midwest, while a warm front lifts into Canada. The clash between warm, humid air and cold, dry air will increase the potential for thunderstorms and severe weather. Areas at risk include Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, the Gulf states, Ohio, eastern Michigan, Pennsylvania, and even parts of Canada. The unseasonably warm and humid conditions could support heavier showers and thunderstorms. Snowfall will persist in the northwest, but at a slightly lower intensity. By Friday, February 7th, the cold front will push through the southeast and the Gulf states, triggering thunderstorms. Snowfall will begin to taper off in the Cascades, but will continue in the northern Rockies and Sierra Nevada. On Saturday, February 8th, another low-pressure system will develop over Missouri, starting slightly farther east than the previous one, but still moving northward. A cold front will likely form, bringing thunderstorms and potential severe weather underneath it, while snowfall spreads across the northern plains and upper Midwest. By Sunday, February 9th, the low will track into Pennsylvania and New York, bringing snowfall to Canada and the Great Lakes. A strong trailing cold front will interact with lingering warmth and humidity, setting up another period of stormy weather. A warm front will extend eastward, further reinforcing the unsettled conditions. This setup is going to create a pocket of thunderstorms and heavier showers once again, leading to another event very similar to previous ones indicated by the models. On Saturday, these thunderstorms will shift across the southeast and parts of the mid-Atlantic, making them an area to watch. On the backside of this system, snowfall is expected for the mid-Atlantic and northeast, while a very strong low-pressure system intensifies over eastern Canada, bringing heavy snowfall there as well. Out west, conditions have slowed down, but it's still quite cold. However, the coldest air remains concentrated over the central states, with colder air continuing to pour into the region. Meanwhile, warming in the southwest could signal the development of a positive Pacific North American pattern, which would help push cold air eastward. By February 10th, we do see this happening. If we were to map out the jet stream, it would show a slight ridge forming in the west and a slight trough developing in the east. This pattern allows colder temperatures to shift eastward, though it's not a dramatic cool down. Still, the east will feel significantly colder, with lake effect snow bands likely forming over the Great Lakes. By Tuesday, February 11th, two distinct pieces of energy attempt to merge. The northern jet stream is pulling in snowfall for the plains and Rockies, while a Gulf Stream system is bringing in moisture and building energy across the Gulf states. These two features are on track to interact, potentially forming a significant storm system. By Wednesday, we see widespread snowfall across the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast, Upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and even parts of the northern Ohio Valley. Snowfall also extends into the Plains, Rockies, and Cascades, creating a vast area of wintry conditions. At the same time, thunderstorms and heavier showers are possible in the southern regions, marking what could be the fourth event of this kind in recent days. On Thursday, a major western trough begins digging deep, causing warmth to surge northward in the east. This setup creates a highly amplified jet stream, leading to a pattern where there's no clearly defined low pressure system yet. However, widespread showers, thunderstorms, snowfall, and even some ice accumulation are expected across different regions. By early Friday morning, around 1 a.m. Eastern, the low pressure system is expected to develop over southern Indiana, though confidence in this long-range forecast remains lower. While we may be diving too deep into the details at this point, the key takeaway is that models continue to suggest a repeating storm pattern. This would mark the fifth or sixth storm system of its kind in recent weeks, reinforcing the idea of an ongoing active weather pattern. Looking at the broader trend before the 10-day period, forecast confidence is relatively high. Beyond that, we focus more on identifying patterns rather than specifics. The consistent theme is a repeating pattern of storms featuring a warm front, cold front, severe weather, and thunderstorms in the south, while snowfall and ice accumulate to the north. This latest system is another carbon copy of previous ones, moving eastward and bringing a cold front with it. Behind the front, colder air will rush in once again, keeping the temperature roller coaster going. Even after the low exits, the lingering warmth and humidity meeting cold, dry air will continue to fuel instability and scattered thunderstorms. Switching to the GFS model, we see similar trends. This storm moves through, bringing snowfall to the northeast, followed by a brief cool down. A slow but steady warming trend follows, with Wednesday, February 5th, showing a potential snowfall event for the Mid-Atlantic, particularly Pennsylvania and New Jersey. That will be something to watch, though it's still 5 days out. After this, warmth briefly pushes up the East Coast before yet another round of cold air moves in, repeating the cycle. Then, just as the cold settles in, another warm surge coincides with an approaching storm, keeping the active weather pattern in place. Second cold front and weather developments. This is our second cold front, which will bring snowfall to the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast to start things off, as well as the Upper Midwest and Great Lakes. Following this, a strong cold front will sweep through the Ohio Valley, with potential thunderstorms and severe weather developing along its path. As this cold front pushes southeastward, we'll be watching for thunderstorms and severe weather in the southeast. Meanwhile, another system begins to take shape in the south, mirroring what we've seen in the European model for February 10th to 12th. This involves a mix of northern and southern energy, resulting in snowfall for the plains and Rockies, while thunderstorms form underneath. At this stage, we're beyond the 240-hour mark, meaning we're analyzing broader weather patterns rather than specific details. However, deeper snowfall in the south appears more likely compared to the European model, and we also see a fast-moving system bringing snowfall through the Ohio Valley and into the Mid-Atlantic. Another Mid-Atlantic and Northeast snowfall event follows around February 15th to 16th, with colder air making a return. The overall pattern remains highly dynamic, fluctuating between warming and cooling periods. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that button and turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates. I'll see you in the next one.